Ladies and gentlemen, at 7:30 a.m. on July 18, Tayninh Provincial People's Council, the 10th term 2021-2026 tenure, solemnly opened the A section, co-chaired by Ms. Nguyễn Đại Thi, standing vice chairwoman of the Provincial People's Council, and Mr. Nguyễn Thành Phong, vice chairman of the Provincial People's Council.
The agenda of the A session of the Provincial People's Council has a rather big workload. This meeting will have a following topics: evaluating the implementation of the task of socio-economic development, state budget, capital construction, reviewing work reports of relevant agencies, reporting on response to voters' opinions and recommendations sent to the Provincial People's Council, and many other important reports. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the leaders of the Provincial Council proposed, from the reality, the working position, and receiving the opinions of the voters, I suggest the delegates to intellectually focus on analyzing and giving opinions on the implementation of the annual targets and tasks, clearly identifying the subjective causes affecting the achieved results, proposing specific solutions to overcome current difficulties and challenges in order to achieve the highest level of the year's planned targets. The meeting will also consider resolutions for 24 thematic resolutions and conduct direct questioning and answering questions with groups of issues of interest to voters and delegates. The chairman of the meeting suggests that the delegates raise the sense of responsibility, actively participate in the meeting's activity, have a lot of discussion ideas, make valid suggestions, and make accurate resolutions for the sake of just and expectations of voters and the people. I also hope that the voters and people in the province pay attention to monitor and supervise the activities of the meeting to contribute ideas for the Provincial People's Council to well implement the proposed plan. In the first working day, agencies and departments submitted reports on the results of the first half of 2023, and the Provincial People's Committee also submitted 24 reports on the issuance of resolution. The specialized committees of the Provincial People's Council also reported to verify the contents submitted to the meeting. In particular, there will be resolutions affecting people's life, such as the resolution stipulating the level of support for the implementation of the project of livelihood diversification, development of poverty reduction models, and production development in the agricultural sector under the National Target Program on Sustainable Poverty Reduction in the province in the period of 2023-2025. The resolution stipulates the tuition fees for public educational institutions for the next 3 academic years and a number of other resolutions. Mr. Võ Đức Trong, standing vice chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, reported to the A session of the Provincial People's Council, the 10th term, on the implementation of the socio-economic development plan in the first half of 2023 and key tasks in the last segments of 2023. Since the beginning of the year, the Provincial People's Committee has directed ranches and localities to focus on implementing tasks and solutions for socio-economic development and state budget estimates, striving to complete and exceed the 2023 plan. In the first half of 2023, the province's total GDP is estimated at 26,898 billion Vietnam dong, up 4.07% over the same period. TayNinhTV ranked the second place in terms of economic growth in the region compared to the Southeast region. The situation of agricultural production developed stably. A number of activities have been actively implemented, such as investment promotion, trade and tourism. They have opened many cooperation opportunities for businesses in the area. The source of foreign investment adjacent capital increased by 126.5% over the same period last year. The number of tourist arrivals reached nearly 3.5 million, with a total revenue of nearly 1,450 billion Vietnam dong. Cultural and social activities have prospered. Social security work is concerned. Social order and safety are guaranteed. Defense and security is maintained.
The audience on July 18 at Hanoi reports Acting General Director of the General Department of Taxation, Mai Xuân Thành, shares an online campaign to review tax work in the first half of the year. implement tasks and solutions in the second half of 2023, with 63 task departments and 413 task branches around the country. The conference was attended and directed by Deputy Minister of Finance Cao Anh Tuấn. At the response of Tây Ninh Province, the directors of the task departments, Nguyễn Tấn Lợi, attended the conference.
In the first half of 2023, the total budget revenue managed by the tax sector is estimated at over 743 trillion Vietnam dong, equaling 54.1% of the ordinance estimate, equaling 94.2% over the same period. For the tax department of Tây Ninh Province, in the first 6 months of 2023, the total domestic revenue of 6 months is over 4,800 billion Vietnam dong. Just 7 out of 15 revenues exceeding the estimated schedule, including revenue from lottery, foreign invested enterprises, none from land use tax, other budget revenues, collecting fees for renting mining rights, tax and fees, personal income tax. At the conference, leaders of tax departments of provinces and cities, department units under the General Department of Taxation, have expressed opinions and discussed solutions to implement tax tasks in 2023. Speaking at the conference, Deputy Minister of Finance Cao Anh Tuấn recognized and praised the impressive results that the tax industry has achieved. He emphasized a number of tasks to focus on, such as striving to exceed the state budget revenue estimate in 2023, timely deploying support solutions for businesses and people according to the policies of the government. Ministry of Finance. Furthermore, it is necessary to closely monitor the progress of budget revenue and focus on building the 2024 budget revenue estimate close to the reality in 2023.
In the morning of July 18, the monitoring team were led by Mr. Đỗ Hồng Sơn, Deputy Director of the Department of Health, Deputy Head of the Standing Committee of the Intersectoral Steering Committee on Food Safety and Hygiene in the province, who had a meeting with the Steering Committee of Trang Bang Thao.
We find large industrial parks, the number of workers is concentrated, and food and entertainment services are developed. It entails the risk of food insecurity also increasing. Therefore, the management of food safety in the area of Trang Bang Thao is focused on by the Town Steering Committee. In the first half of 2023, although there have been no cases of food poisoning in the district, the town has not fully control on types of businesses, such as street food, especially commutes and works with concentrated industrial zones. Concluding the monitoring session, Mr. Đỗ Hồng Sơn noted the results achieved by the town, especially in controlling food poisoning. In the coming time, the Town Steering Committee needs to continue to decentralize the state management of food safety in the area in order to minimize the occurrence of food poisoning and ensure the health of the people. On July 18, 2023, the Department of Education and Training announced the scores of the high school graduation exam in 2023. TayNin has nearly 10,000 candidates taking the exam in the high school graduation exam in 2023. This year, the candidate test score continued to be announced on the website. As soon as the department announced the test score, the candidates entered their registration numbers to see the high school graduation exam score in 2023 of all the subjects that have taken the exam. According to the Department of Education and Training, this year TayNin has 120 tests with 10 marks in all subjects including biology, history, civil education, and foreign languages. When the results of the high school graduation exam in 2023 are available, candidates with questions about the test score are entitled to review. The review period is from July 18 to the end of July 27, 2023. After obtaining the high school graduation exam score in 2023, the Department of Education and Training will conduct high school graduation consideration for candidates.
Ladies and gentlemen, through the report of the Provincial People's Committee as the opening sessions of the 8th session of the 10th TayNin Provincial People's Council in the 2021-2026 tenure show that the socio-economic situation of TayNinh province in the first 6 months of 2023 to achieve many positive results when it ranks the second place in the terms of economic growth in the Southwest region.
In the first 6 months of 2023, in the context of the socio-economic situation still facing many difficulties and challenges in the process of recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, the Provincial Service Committee has actively directed branches and localities to focus on implementing tasks and solutions for socio-economic development and state budget estimates, striving to complete an exit plan in 2023. Up to now, the province economy has made steady progress. Economically, GDP growth continued to increase by 4.07% over the same period. Compared with the southern key region and the southwest region, TayNinh ranks the second place, following Bình Phước. Trading services, industry and construction contributed the most to the overall growth. On other economic sectors have been making positive contributions to the economy. The situation of agricultural production is stable. Products of livestock products are mainly equal or increased over the same period. The number of tourist arrivals reached nearly 3.5 million, with a total revenue of nearly 1,450 billion Vietnam dong. The investment attraction faced many difficulties in the general situation, but the TayNinh province still achieved positive results. Business investment environment continues to improve. Difficulties and bottlenecks in land planning investment are concerned to remove. In addition, the site clearance was promoted to remove difficulties to clear resources. Attracting foreign investment increased by 126% over the same period. Besides the achieved results, the province economy is facing many difficulties, specifically the situation where many workers lost their jobs. Although the agricultural economy is still growing, it still lacks high technology content. Many cooperative models are not sustainable. The above situation poses many difficulties and pressures for the work for the last 6 months of the year. Production and business activities of a part of enterprises and economic sectors are still difficult, especially in the field of industrial production and export. Some large traditional markets have been narrow. Many workers have lost their jobs. The development of high-tech agriculture is still slow and has not yet met the process of production transformation. I request the delegates to focus their minds to analyze and give opinions on the implementation of the annual targets and tasks, clearly identify the subjective causes of fighting the achieved results, propose reducing specific solutions to overcome current difficulties and challenges. The Provincial Service Committee has also seriously assessed the challenges and limitations in order to have solutions to complete socio-economic development targets in the second half of 2023. It is necessary to continue to review the barriers that hinder production and business activities. At the same time, it is necessary to promote administrative reform and improve the investment environment to create unfavorable conditions for businesses and people. Strongly attract the investment, focusing on directing the implementation of key project progress with investment policies in various fields. Accelerate the disbursement of public investment capital for each project, ensure the completion of the 2023 targets, reaching 100% of the assigned public investment capital. The Provincial Service Committee also reported to the meeting of 10 groups of key solutions to be implemented in the last 6 months of the year, in which TayNinh province has set strict financial and budget management requirements, effectively exploiting revenue sources and managing budget expenditure within the approved estimate, creating conditions for businesses to access capital sources for production and business activity. In particular, in the second half of 2023, the Provincial Service Committee will make every effort to promptly implement the policy for people, especially those who face difficulties due to job loss.
That's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.